like, there's a lot of cards in Avatar that are very, very powerful. And is Lorwyn going to be as powerful? To be honest, I doubt it's going to be as powerful, but I don't think they're going to disappoint us with it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to episode number 34 of Get Your Deck Out.
You couldn't remember.
It's me, Oldemodave with Scott 1170G. Once again on a Monday, patiently awaiting the Lorwyn release day. Like, we've been thrown off on our release schedule over Christmas. And
is it patient? Or are we just kind of sitting here going, this feels a bit soon?
Yeah, also as well, like, you know, it's a bit like we just had Christmas, and it's a little bit like this morning someone just peeked into Daddy's closet and just unwrapped all the presents. I hope that's not clipped out of context by the editor. Oh, I'm the editor. So we're not going to talk about Lorwyn's spoilers this week. So to be honest, we probably have just call to action a lot of you to switch off the episode. But actually, if you are still here, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of everything that we do. And subscribing and heading us on the road to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Talking of 1,000, we're going to talk about what we had on the weekend, the final of the Get Your Deck Out and Full Fire TCG Invitational, which, Scott, I hold my hands up. We streamed, we delivered, and we forgot to record.
So essentially it was the first stream out of my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Elevenzees. Go follow me. I will stream at some point, I promise, maybe, potentially. And yeah, apparently the default from Twitch is don't make a VOD of whatever stream you do.
Yeah.
Not just don't publish it, just don't save it. So we could have got around this in a multitude of ways, where I could have just recorded in OBS. That would have involved a lot more editing. We'd have had to cut the very, very copyright-ridden music that we were playing in the little gaps in between games out. But yeah, I've got the setting on now, so shout out anyone who was playing in the Invitational that wanted to watch your games. So I've had that from Ben, Josh, Daryl, Sarge, Jamal as well. Shout out all of you. Dave fucked it.
Yeah, apologies, Daryl's son. Daryl can show you this as evidence that Daddy should have been on YouTube, but it was my fault. I hope you didn't show him the rest of the episode, because we've sworn 4 times already. Like,
it's not 4, is it?
Fuck, it was. Oh, now it's 4.
Well, that's gonna be. Hasn't YouTube changed the algorithm now, where it's like you can swear in the first like 20 seconds and it doesn't change anything now or something?
It's something. I think it's the other way. They're like, if you.
No, I thought they changed it. Like, if you swore in the first minute, you like got way less advertising or whatever.
Yeah,
because bigger channels like Game Grumps, they were like bleeping them out for like just the first minute.
Yeah, on a short, I always tend to bleep our first one. So anyone's ever watched one of our shorts and thought Scott's voice when he says bleeping doesn't actually look like that, then you are correct. Well done for the Easter egg. The
JP special.
We try to keep it PC where we can, but we should really be talking about this weekend as, again, a really positive outcome from a community perspective. So for those who've only just hit us on the 34th episode, not followed any of our socials, or been living under a rock in relation to UK Magic, with Full Fire TCG, one of the best shops in the UK, if not the best shop in the UK from a perspective of can go to and play Magic.
Up there for sure.
They run a series of events alongside their RCQs, and we also had a couple of events happening in Bath, and obviously with ourselves in Cardiff, where the winners, specifically the winners of the events, qualified for what was it, £1,000 first prize event this weekend. During those qualifying seasons, if you want to play as much as you wanted to, you could play spoiler. You won prizes if you played spoiler, which was a very interesting dynamic. I know Jason, who collected all the stats of the event, actually qualified 4 times. So, like, I think is probably got one of the highest EV percentage like paybacks this whole event, because he
still didn't top 8 though, did he?
Didn't top 8, no. So it's not like he got 4 buys, which would have been a really funny mechanic if he like if he just like basically got a pass.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No. But it was a great one. Positives, yeah, positives. What a wonderful thing. What a wonderful vibe. Considering the value that was on the line, there was a really, really great sportsmanship, really well played. Some fantastically high level of play there too. Obviously, also as well as that, I was there. But there was multiple RC competitors. Obviously, we had Eric Zhao, the Unity League winner. We've obviously got the eventual winner with our own Ben Jones, who now probably finally gets back on Philippa's one to watch card in Leon, because he's back up there. Mustache involved as well, Scott. You know, I noticed we tashed that.
Mimicry is the highest form of flattery, as they say. Soon he'll be shit at magic as well, and then he'll truly be me.
That's what he'll learn, is that it gives you sort of short-term powers, and then eventually you slide all the way downhill.
Where were the short-term powers for me? I didn't get any of that.
An evening on Magic Online when you went 4-1 in the league. That was about what you got.
Yeah, thanks, mate. At least I didn't go 0-2 on camera in my own invitational.
That is true. Talking, I've obviously start talking there first about me, my choices. Yes, I was very well positioned and very lucky to be just a couple of cards short of what was the emerging landfall deck over the Christmas break. Couldn't, of all cards, get hold of Felidar Retreats. So decided to go the mono green route, which I think
was that seriously your limit on not playing green white?
No, it was the tilted factor. It was I saw.
I think I'd still play green white, mate. To be honest,
yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Well, I tell you what, I still thought green white was better, and then the week before, the 2 out of 3 challenges on the weekend was won by mono green, a very close list to this. And it kind of then let me sniff all of the copium and go, see, told you so. Never needed Felidar Retreats in the first place. Mm-hmm. And then Gabe goes in top fours with exactly the list I should have played. Because ultimately, as soon as there's control in the room, as soon as there's any good level removal like Golgari, like Felidar Retreat is a great example. It's like, cool, wipe my board. I'm going to put 3 cats on the board and they all grab a 1/1 counter. Lol. And
that's the main appeal of a card like Felidar Retreat. And there's things you can do in mono green. I think seeing the power of Earthbender Ascension in particular, that's something that's really come out of, not out of the first bit of Avatar, but now we've had hold of it for a couple of weeks. Earthbender Ascension, Darsing's Say, all the second Earthbend cards, because Badgermole Cub's the best one. We all knew that.
Yeah.
But Earthbender Ascension, Darsing's Say, even Beifong's Bounty Hunters in some weird combo decks or just black-green mid-range.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cards in Avatar that are very, very powerful. And is Lorwyn going to be as powerful? To be honest, I doubt it's going to be as powerful, but I don't think they're going to disappoint us with it. So we haven't really got a settled standard format at the minute anyway. It's kind of settled. It's on the way there. But there is that organic churn to it, and there's that people responding. I've seen certain people playing green in lessons for Origin of Metal Bending. I assume that's to fight lessons mirrors, because then you've got a way to destroy a monument or an artist talent pre-board. Some people are cutting the 4th monument from lessons, which I've actually been a big proponent of since I picked the deck up, because drawing 2 of them, unless you've already played one of them, drawing 2 of them feels horrific. And Ben actually played 3 in the event as well. He played the 1 main deck Rattle, which I have got the Discord receipts as well. I spoke to him weeks ago about doing. So that's a small victory for me, but I will take it. But yeah, Standard just seems sick. I know we're in our own little bubble with the Invitational, but we had a really diverse meta game. Mm-hmm. Didn't see a lot of mirrors at all. Obviously, eventually won, spoiler, by lessons, playing against looting. But Ben and Josh, 2 of the best players in the room, let's be real.
Yeah.
On 2 of the best decks in the room.
Yeah.
And yeah, we saw 4-color control on camera. We saw Jeskai on camera. We saw Golgari Dragons. Sultai Reanimator, shout out Jamal, and your mismatched versions and foil, non-foil. But also, I did enjoy watching Daryl absolutely kick his head in. I'm actually really upset that the VOD didn't save. And it's because game 3 of, it was Tan on 4-color control versus Ben on lessons, who obviously went on to win the event, but this was just before top 8, I think. The game 3, I think it was, Ben wins with 0 cards in library, and he's got like 12 cards left. He's there counting them out, making sure he can do exactly what he needs to do, and like ends up killing Tan with a stack of triggers and spells like this.
That's incredible.
On top of like the inevitable defeat. So can't counter the inevitable defeat, but you can kill your opponent in response.
Yeah, like it was just really great to see that people have like embraced post Vivi standard.
Yeah.
And I know the higher up you are in the conversation of skill, there tends to be a bit of a, oh yeah, but Vivi was fine. And I think
it wasn't fine.
It wasn't, no.
People say it was fine because they enjoyed playing it. Shout out. I'm doing all the shout outs today. Shout out Doug for that sentiment as well. Like, as a player said, yeah, I know it was a problem with the win rate, but it's some of the most fun I've had playing standard for years. Sorry, I dropped a card off my desk.
That's okay.
I had some scolding vipers arrive from Card Market because I'm trying to cover off every version of Is It in the current world. Soon, I'm going to end up buying Drake Catchers soon. People have been playing that in Prowess again.
I've seen and heard, and I think we go back to like the Lorwyn debate on standard, and yeah, you're right. It's not settled because down this list, so we had 24 players, and I've gone through. We've only got decks repeating. Like the most the deck was 3 times. So Is It Lessons was only in the field 3 times, which is like again, like when you look at what when you look at what you had with Vivi, like you get to a point where in a room of 20-50, like yeah, Vivi would be like 10 people. Like and stuff like that, which is crazy. Same thing again, like yes, okay, there was looting, but that's again physically a completely different deck, and just in the same colors. There was different landfalls, there was different Ouroboros decks, there was different control decks, and yeah, people are innovating, people are having fun with it, and yeah, not settled because I think that's what's really nice about it, and we're starting to see some of the design philosophies come to the fore. And we wouldn't even recommend you to go and buy any of these cards though with Lorwyn around the corner. What we'd recommend is if for some crazy reason you could still sell your shock lands of what's going to get printed in Lorwyn for the higher price, sell them, because you're going to get the opportunity to buy them back when they get reprinted and they're going to be lower. That's the only bit of financial advice I'll give for this episode. But
my financial advice would be if you have matching sets, don't bother. They're not going to change that much. Let's be real now.
The thing's going to be is you'll do it and you're going to pull the one full art with like these flip full arts that you're going to be able to get. And you are then going to chase the full arts, and it's actually going to cost you more money than it would have anyway from saving it. But yeah, great outcomes. Obviously, going just a little bit down to the top 8. Obviously, yeah, we just mentioned that we had Ben Jones win the whole event on Is It Lessons. Ben has posted that on his X for you to take a look at. Going to Leon this coming week, so don't expect any cyborg guys and stuff like that unless he feels like he wants to make a couple of quid. But
joke's on you, I've got his cyborg guide.
Yeah, and has said to us that he will, after Leon is over, come and have a little bit of a chat about the deck and some of the theory and stuff like that. So make sure you put some comments in the description about how excited you are about that episode happening. Josh Corliss, yeah, friend of the show, stalwart in the UK scene, came second. It's been really, really great on looting. Like rolled me over in round 1, and I think would have rolled me over even if I had a good draw or not.
Not a mulligan 5, not mulligan 6, yeah.
Yeah, but did great all day. He's been loving this deck, been like loving this standard, and again pulling up results. Love to see. Got a landfall deck and a Demir mid-range again, because classic Dom White just rocking the Demir mid-range, and it just shows if you're pretty good at Magic and you know your deck, you could do well on any given day now. Dom doing that with Demir. Dom more of a limited specialist coming back to the game, by the way. So Dom is a great player. and also, but is just loving playing Magic because been away for so long. So love to see that as well. Gabe playing the correct version of Landfall, the Selesnya one. And then in the top 8, we've mentioned some of the names already, but obviously Darryl was there on Green Black Landfall. I actually do have a little bit of a thought that could be the long-term better way to play the Ouroboros decks is Green Black. But again, there's so many new cards to see.
Even though Darryl's deck is not even close to an Ouroboros deck, it's Green Black Control. I actually went over that on stream. You told me it was Golgari, which was really descriptive for me, so thank you, Dave. But if you look into it, it is not. It's a control deck.
Yeah, to be fair, it is. It's very much that.
Ugin, Eye of the Storms, Rise of Sozin, Liliana, Dreadhorde General, all in the main deck.
Yeah,
that's a control deck, baby.
Darryl is a very established old school Magic player as well, playing stuff that knows how to play Magic well. A very, very good limited player, and has played to his strengths here with the deck building as well. So great result from them there. They went 3-0 in the Swiss, I think, by the looks of the record. Yeah, they went 3-0 in the Swiss, so doing really well. Similar 3-0 in the Swiss. Third high mention on the show now, just ready for you, Sarge. Well played. 4-color control, rocking that out. Again, another fantastically accomplished limited player. And Jamal with his reanimated deck right up there. And Jason, our guy who you saw with the stats update before the weekend, playing that Demir Excruciator. So, playing that Doomsday.
That deck is sick, by the way. I lost to it when we were playing the team trios, and we saw it on camera over the weekend against Gavin playing Jessica Artifacts. And at no point was Gavin close to winning the game.
Yeah.
Like, had multiple Simulacrum synthesizers in play, and Jason just found the way through it, found the way around it. Obviously a deck that he's put a lot of thought into. Like 1 Annul main deck, 2 Negate, 1 Deduce, 2 3 Steps Ahead, 2 Essence Scatter, 1 Bitter Trump, 1 Feed the Cycle, 2 Shoot the Sheriff. This is different to Demir midrange playing like 2 Stab, 1 Nowhere to Run, where they just can't help themselves and they just think, oh, sometimes this is good, sometimes this is good.
Yeah.
This is really deliberate, and you don't end up with stuff like 1 Annul in the main deck by accident.
Yeah, this is tweaking and refining at its best. Play Jason many a times have meant multiple formats where he's rocking some kind of control shell, so that having the tools available to play a control shell well, he's really putting something together that's really interesting to play. And I think if any of us are going to be getting our streams up over the next couple of weeks, almost every list on here I want to take for a run, just to take a look.
We've only got a week until Lorwyn comes out, so
I'll add a Lorwyn card or two as well, because I think some of these decks, especially things like what I was playing, are going to have some serious upgrades. We've mentioned ourselves the John Emmanuel Deprar card, how that's going to really add into any of these green creature decks really well. But as I already said before, Lorwyn will come next week. This isn't the last Invitational. There is going to be more invitationals, and I am not in a position to reveal it on the podcast today, but more information will come out from Full Fire in the coming days about their plans for summer. So this has been one of those ones where I'm actually saying follow their social channels. So if you go and find Full Fire TCG, they are basically on every social media apart from X, which I think is a good thing. Go on their Instagram, their Facebook, and just get involved, and they're always posting about it. And all I will say to you, if you like Eternal formats, I believe this is going to be for you. And there is going to be similar prize net for grabs this summer, more from the Full Fire crew. So, like,
Modern Invitational?
I'm not at liberty to tell you.
Pre-Modern Invitational?
Just that there will be Eternal Magic players will be happy with the outcome. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with that.
Well, maybe not necessarily happy with the outcome unless you win, but
that'd be true. Yeah, you don't want to go. You don't want to spend the money to travel to Gloucester and go 0-4, right? But
I've done it more than once, so
same.
Shout out Full Fire.
But that aside, again, thank you so much to Ben, the team at Full Fire, Dave who runs the Magic, Jamal, everybody who's involved, and this wouldn't be done without you. In the same way you always tell us we wouldn't have got it without us. Same thing goes back, but it's the same goes for everybody who listens to this show, because ultimately we rant every Tuesday. Well, we rant on the Monday. You listen on the Tuesday to everything we've got to say about Magic. And many of you have told us that like you'd like to hear our opinions on things. You listen to hear the opinions, but we thought on our Discord this week we'd flip
But Dave,
it around.
we're normally so mild with our opinions.
I know.
We normally don't talk about them whatsoever.
And also, we are okay. For those people in a week who said who checked in on me and said, you know, the guy who does the podcast with you, is he okay?
Yes, I am. I am outwardly mentally ill and inwardly mentally ill. But if this ends up being on a short to clear the water on TikTok, shout out TikTok, hi, love you. I am okay. And I really, really deeply love this game. I really deeply care about Magic. And it is my favorite game. It is the game I've played for longer than any other. There's been other games that I've played, maybe not trading card games, but plenty of video games that I've played for a long, long time. Nothing's ever come close in terms of Magic. It's part of how I got with my lifelong partner. It's part of how I've met pretty much every friend I have. And I'm going to keep playing it. There's not a lot that could get me to stop at this point. And even if the powers that be stop supporting it, then I'll be making cubes. I'll be playing Modern. I'll be making my own formats and finding excuses to play with people for as long as I am able to cognitively function to the extremely low standard that I hold my cognitive function at nowadays for the rest of time.
Well, the thing is, there's definitely enough resources for this to just continue regardless now, isn't it? There's so many cards, there's so many formats, there's so many ways to play. Like there's so much invention still to do that
no one is changing pre-modern apart from the very rare occasion that there is a ban list update in that format, and it is thriving. It is developing, it is changing week on week, and now it's on Magic Online. Don't touch it more than that, Watsy. Leave it alone. It is not a cash cow for you to beat. Leave it alone. Let us have our fun.
It's not an RCQ season. Goodness me, there's another card source I don't even start with. On opinions, we thought we'd let you ask us some questions. So we're going to do this more often. So if you do want to be involved, there's a link for our Discord. We have over 200 Magic players in our Discord, and we stretch that whole Magic players as well. We haven't got bots. We're very good on that, and we just have Magic players in there talking about Magic. You don't need to be a UK Magic player. We do talk a lot about events that are going on in the UK, but you can come along. You can talk about whatever format you want. Also,
please do as well. Yeah. By the way, like some of my favorite stuff is if you end up at a different Spotlight series, you see a group of players from Italy, and you just want to chat to them. You're like, what's it like in Italy? What's it like playing in an LGS in Lucca or Rome or Palermo? Like these places that you don't necessarily go to a lot. Where, yeah, fair enough. One of us might go to Lucca for a Paupergeddon, or like an Eternal Weekend, that sort of thing. I know it's actually one of the first places that Wizards went to in, I think, 1994, question mark, when they were looking at translating the game into Italian. And Peter Atkinson, who's the original founder of Wizards of the Coast, who, with Richard Garfield, gave us this game, they sat down and they were able to play games of Magic with people who didn't speak a lick of English and they didn't speak a lick of Italian, but because of the iconography on the cards, because of the art and the identity of the cards, they were able to just play Magic. And that's part of it, right? That's what I want to experience. I want to talk to people who have that experience, and we want to carry that on.
Yeah, absolutely. We want the game to thrive, and like, it'll bring us on to sort of really our first question that we had this go around. Do you want to go with those, Scott?
Yeah, we'll go with it. So, do you think the number of releases in 2026 and beyond will be detrimental to the health of Magic in the long run?
I think in the long run, no. And that is probably quite a hot take. I think you look back in 2025 and 2024, and 2023, and you see the numbers of sets that we had in all those years, the number of sets is not the detrimental thing. The way we approach like what impact those sets have is the thing that is not going to be positive this year. And I think they've had enough feedback, or at least I hope they've had enough feedback from the initial release of the schedule, what we've seen in 2026, and we're going to see a slight course correct in 2027, because I think the problem is the costing and cadence and the fact that you've just shoved them all into standard formats to try and make standard happen. I think you can have 7 sets. I just think where you've got, and I'm going to call 2 specific ones out. I'm going to call it the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, which is going to land with us towards the end of February, start of March.
That's also an Aftermath style set, isn't it? Or is it full size?
No, it's just an Aftermath style set. So, and what we don't know yet, but I'm going to guess, is the Lord of the Rings one's going to be a fully 10-pulled one. But the fact that we go into August, and that will be, by that point, the 5th set of the year. We're 8 months into the year, man. Like, you know, like that, the 5th set hitting in the 8th month means that we haven't had a set every other month at that point. We've had a set, we've had in one period, we had a set the following month. So that's copable if, for example, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was actually something like a focused straight to Eternal format set.
You'd rather see an Assassin's Creed.
Specifically saying, though, it's modern and back. So you got the room to have a little bit more play in maybe the top 20 cards. So like 10 mythics, 10 rares. You focus in then on giving all the other formats that exist in this ecosystem all of the much desired reprints with art, for like really beautiful arts, really beautiful play patterns. You don't have to have them draftable, but I think that's the thing, that they're so keen to have consistently draftable sets. That's really like meant that they've foregone what was an obvious home run. Like if you'd have just basically said to me, right, like I could get like a Shredder Fatal Push, and I could get like a Bebop and Rocksteady Shoulder of the Apocalypse reprint or something like that, like I would go and buy boxes of that card, that set, and I'd open them up and I'd go, that's cool. But if Spider-Man's told us nothing, the actual IP doesn't actually sell it to us. The actual game being in the game is what sells it to us.
Yeah, there's a reason that Final Fantasy and Avatar and Lord of the Rings all sold better than Spider-Man and Assassin's Creed. And I think a huge amount of it is the smaller set size. I think them trying to make Spider-Man draftable was just horrific, and I hope they learn a lot from that experience. And if they have time to correct the sets that are coming out in the next couple of years, then please do what you can to correct those. I'm slightly different to you. I think it is detrimental. I don't think it is a death knell. I think that if it stays at 7 sets, they all go into standard, this is just what it is for the next, say, 5 years. We'll all just adjust to it. We have adjusted to the end of blocks. We went to 2-set blocks, and then we went to standalone sets. Everyone said, this is the death of Magic. We're going to be jumping around with no real aim, and everything's just going to be confused and muddled. And are things a bit more confused and muddled? Yeah, for sure. Are things a lot fresher in terms of where we are and what we're looking at? I mean, yeah. Speak to anyone who played during the original Theros block, and as beloved and as great as that 3-set block is, at certain times in the middle of it, you did kind of think, right, okay, where are we going to go for this 3rd set? And it was when you're late 20s, that sort of thing, where a lot of Magic players are ending up now, when we've been playing the game for 10, 15, 20, in some cases 30 years. We have a different viewpoint on this to people on the outside looking in. I'm sure we've all had those conversations of, is that like Pokemon? Is that like Is it like top
There was that
front?
short,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
shout out Talia Vest.
Talia
for that
Vest's short.
Like,
It was like, it was spot on. Like, yeah, I sat there and sort of like, I watched the first few seconds and had that chat.
yeah.
That chat, like, and then I'm rewatching it over, and I'm like, you nailed that, girl. That was right spot on.
The grandma talking about one of the cards having way too many words on it, though. Shout out that grandma. She knows what's
Talia
up.
Vest's grandma knows. She knows.
Yeah, I think it is. It's detrimental. It's not something that I prefer to happen, but it's not going to be the end of the game. We're gonna get through it. We'll all just keep on keeping on. And at this point, there needs to be a whole series of things that go very badly wrong for this game to be killed. Yeah. And Vivi would be just like the start of it. You'd need pretty much every format to suck and then have multiple bad releases in a row. And even then, I'm not sure even that's going to be enough. The people in Wizards who make Magic, I'm not talking about the people who make the decisions on how many sets that we get and where they go, because that's corporate. That's people who are higher. I'm talking about the people in the trenches designing the cards. Your Aya Karam Chandanis, your Carmen Comparanzes, like people like that who are in there designing cards week in, week out, and that's what they do. Your Mark Rosewaters, as much as I think sometimes he comes out with stuff that isn't necessarily factual from our perspective, and I think sometimes can come out with things that don't appreciate that we can see things too. We can see our perspective on the game. So talking about, well, Commander sells more packs than ever and Kitchen Table sells more packs than ever, we can't see that. We can't see those details, but he definitely cares. He wouldn't still be there if he didn't care, and they will do what they can to keep giving us a great game. So I think it will be detrimental, but we'll live on and we'll course correct. They'll do what makes them the most money, obviously, and we'll do what gives us the most fun. Yeah. Is what it is.
Yeah. I'm talking about continuing fun. We had another question about competitive MTG.
Yeah, so do you think, this is one, I feel like this one's targeted at me, but we'll get there. Do you think that competitive MTG offers enough to incentivize players to participate? I'm talking standard showdowns, RCQs, etc. This could be prizing or general tournament play experience. And if not, what do you think both Wizards and LGSs can do to get more players in? That's a deep... I could answer this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we should just do another episode. Should we just move on and do it? No. I think from people who've been very much invested in organizing and trying to create a community, and I think I'd be very happy to say that we've definitely created a community around us because of this. And originally, the thoughts were we create a place to play. And I've always said, and anyone who knows me well, my mantra always was, do this because I love playing this game. It's really great for my mental health. I wanted to make a place for people to play. I wanted to see my friends win trophies on TV, right? And yes, okay, I haven't seen a trophy yet, but I've definitely seen some fantastic results on people who've come through the system that we've had around us. Has the system changed over the years? Absolutely. But do I feel proud of it? Absolutely. So the gives and takes that we've had from Wizards during this time for competitive MTG have been a lot worse than what we have now. So there was definitely no RCQ system, which was like, so what? Why are you bothering? Was pretty much what a lot of Commander players would say to him.
Buy your Commander precon and go sit down and shut the fuck up until the next set comes out.
It was exactly that, like, especially in the UK. So if the 30% of you who listen, like in specifically America, there's a few more of you who listen elsewhere. We don't have things happening. Like, we up until recently I've had Axion now do Megamon series, which was like 4 times a year. You go and play a really big Mon event, and then they have an invitational at the Christmas time, yet to be advertised for 2026, but I really, really hope that we still see it. But that was our lot for a very long time, was that we had Axions to go to, and there was not even RCQs. Then RCQs came back. And I think it's very clear for you to say, because of one part of this question, are we offering the right thing? We're offering the right thing to the players, is we're offering them a path to the Pro Tour. Is it the right thing to offer to the LGSs? Absolutely not. Because unfortunately, there's quite a prohibitive cost of putting these on. And the way that the modern LGS, and when I say modern LGSs consider themselves to be retail stores that happen to have tabletop gaming in them. Now, I'm sure there's multiple store owners will say to me, that's bullshit. I'm a consumer and I walk into them and
But you have also got the perspective of you have organised RCQs.
yeah. So
you have been the tournament organizer.
So I can say to you that like the way to make an event break even, if it's just make an event break even, is almost impossible. Right? We were actually genuinely talking about this in the last week or so about one that we're planning, and we needed to get 32 people to make a minimum wage out of running that event for the day.
And that's one person running a 32-person event.
Yeah. So, number one, you take a lot more skill than being a minimum wage employee to run an event. And also, how can I guarantee 32 people are going to be there? I can't.
You can't. Not even close.
So stores don't need to make this risk anymore because they can just be open, be a store, and like have people randomly sit down for board games, bring Commander precons. So they take the path less challenged, which is to just make enough money, not risking losing any money. And unfortunately, we're back in a dip, right? So we've seen these dips over the last few years in Magic. We see the dips whilst Commander Masters flopped a bit. So we were on a little bit of a wave of a high for product at that point. And then with like Lord of the Rings being the previous tentpole, the next tentpole, Commander Masters, well, people buying stuff in stores were like, cool, let's buy the house. And it tanked because it was £9 a pack or £10 a pack, whatever it was. So, and then we were in a lull from that. We were in a little bit of a recovery, and then Vivi Spider-Man hit, which again has just tanked.
Yeah, any recovery just got put into the ground.
And every time there's a recovery, though, we never recover. We've never been recovering to the higher peak back. So I'd say the big thing being then to sort of like wrap up what I say, the incentive to the players is about as good as it can get. The value proposition needs to be higher from the infrastructure involved. Now,
I disagree, but we'll get there.
Yeah, but there needs to be more reason to do the thing that is on offer. That is my overall summary of it. You can't really do better than come to the store and play, go to your locals and compete, get into regionals, compete, and get to the Pro Tour. I think that'll do. Personally, I just think along the way, you just fall off the path so hard because there's no value to try.
When you say there's no value to try, do you mean from the LGS perspective or from the player perspective?
I think there's an element of both. I think the player perspective is that whilst you're going and trying to do well and perform well and come out with a good outcome, like it's very much, unless you're in like the top 16, maybe, are you gonna like be even covering your expenses? And I think a lot of arguments back will be like, oh, I know, yeah, but we only had X amount of people turn up. It's like, yeah, but this is showing your game off. Like, we got, like I said, we've got 250 odd people in our Discord, and I know that there's about 90 people in there who play some kind of 60 card constructed Magic, right? They will play forever if the game is fun and they've got a carrot that they might get there. But also what the problem is, though, the moment they get there, if it's not worth their time, like they're not going to keep trying. And
they're going to say, I've done this once, and then
and it's like that is what is like missing. Like I think they need to have your like Dota 2 style like goose egg, right? So those of you who've never like been involved in that, Dota 2 had the Invitational, which was always like a community like built thing, that the prize pool was bigger based on people selling stuff. And it meant that like Dota 2 as a whole, like, okay, there's a few professional teams and stuff, but in general, you just like, that was the event you aim for. And if you got to the International, like it was life changing. Now, where Magic don't do that, like, oh my God, like you just literally have a secret layer that comes out in September, which is the 5 best standard cards from the whole year, available for £39.99. £5 of every secret layer goes into the World Championship prize pool. The next thing you know, you've literally suddenly got a £4 million prize pool. Like, come on, guys. Like, I'm literally just like a middle-aged white man in the UK thinking of this, like, as we speak on a podcast. Like, I know this logistics, I know this effort, but people lap this shit up.
Yeah, look at the massive esports boom, right? Like, look at. Do you think Riftbound was as popular as it was when it got announced purely because of how good League of Legends is as a game,
No.
or is it because of how many fans that we've got of League of Legends through the various league play, through League Worlds? Like, people who are in my life who are not gamers know what League of Legends is because they've seen what Worlds is.
Yeah.
And they only know what Magic the Gathering is because I've talked about it ad infinitum.
Magic people literally don't even know when big events are happening.
Exactly.
Because you make no effort to tell the world. People know when big Pokemon events are happening, or if they don't know, they see the posts. They see, like, the grandeur of the stages. Like, I think we just need to start realizing, like, you got to sell the game a bit more. The game sells itself when they're in. But if you don't sell the product to people a bit more, then they just get bored and move on to the next thing.
I agree on all of that, and I'm going to say something that's probably going to make you smile, because I've said it, well, I don't know, 10 times across these episodes. Better promos.
I think you were baited into that in the question.
Do you know what the promos are for the next RCQ season?
Oh, so it's two mice. One of them is a white uncommon, which does offspring with Valiant, Flowerfoot something.
Flowerfoot Swordmaster, yep.
And then the other one is the double striker guy.
Yeah, Manifold Mouse. We figured out why they banned Heartfire Hero, not Manifold Mouse. Got ya, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Why was this? Why were these? You're literally going into lore, like this is like the Lorwyn period.
Why are one of these not Quantum Riddler? Are you telling me they didn't know that card was going to be good? What? It cost them the same amount to commission art for a weirdly humanoid Manifold Mouse with Jordans on and an art for Quantum Riddler. And speaking from experience, if you want to play tournaments and you want to try and claw some of this money back and you want to incentivize people to go out and play it, do shit like the Urza Saga. Like, even the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, it's not that expensive a card, but it was still really appealing to people. And it cost them the same amount. You're not reprinting anything at the minute, so why the hell do you care about the value of the secondary market in terms of reprint equity, or in case I'm doing another Masters set at some point in 7 years? Who cares? The laundry list of cards to reprint is as long as your arm and even longer, even if you've got long arms like me. And the promos just suck. At no point do I go, oh, I need to go play some RCQ so I can get some Flowerfoot Swordmaster. Who gives a shit? Why are they so bad?
It can't be a timing thing on this as well. So we can call them out on this based on recent evidence. So as someone who knows logistics a bit of my work and timing and planning, like, I know sometimes you need to think ahead, right? But there's no way that the decision for these Manifold Mouse and Flowerfoot got made like before your decision for the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So Fable of the Mirror Breaker was a store promo back last summer. So therefore you're telling me there was a 6-month difference between when you made the Fable of the Mirror Breaker and the Flowerfoot. If there was, you had time to stick Oculus in that window.
Yeah,
you had time to stick an Overlord.
Purposeful. Why is the promo that you get just for going to an RCQ bad? And it's always bad as well.
Yeah.
Sleight of Hand was probably the best one that we saw, and that vaguely matters.
Yeah.
Mayhem Devil, who cares? If anyone can name a good promo that they've done that's not pissing Shoot the Sheriff and Laughing Jasper Flint. Shoot the Sheriff, reasonable.
Yeah.
But it's an uncommon. Why? Why is it not a valuable card? And as I said, you're not reprinting anything. Who cares if you tank the price of a card? Who actually cares? Because you're not opening packs for equity anymore, because you physically can't have enough equity to be charging £8 a booster pack and it be even vaguely reasonable to open them and try and make your money back unless you hit some golden chocobo bollocks. So why do the promos suck? Why is it not an Oculus just for playing?
That's the big question. I think that
they're maintaining reprint equity just in case. And as much as they like to say, "Oh, we don't see the secondary market value," bollocks. Look at any secret lair that they've made in the last 5 years and tell me how many of them where their MSRP for how much they're charging for the secret lair is that different for what the cards are in there. Normally, it's £7 worth of cards, but they've got really hyper-specific art that look like Barney shit on them. Appeals to maybe 0.1% of the player base, but that 0.1% of the player base laps it up. Go off, do what you got to do.
We'll wrap that one up by saying promos is all it really takes at this point.
It honestly, it drives me up the fucking wall. Charge less to send these kits to people, first of all, because let's be real, if someone wants pins, give them pins. If someone on Etsy or Temu can make pins and sell them for less than £1 each, so can you. And let's not sit here and pretend like you care about worker ethics. You're owned by Hasbro. Printing cards costs the exact same no matter what's printed on the card. A Shieldred the Apocalypse and a Basic Forest cost the exact same to print if they are on the same card stock. Yeah, but this one's got an ink splot foil layer. I don't care about any of that. Just give us the base version of the damn card. Give us a little RCQ stamp on it and just give us the base version. Then you don't even need to commission new art and it's even cheaper. I'll give you that one for free, Watsy. Get people out, get people playing the game and give people a reason to actually pay even £15 to sign up for these tournaments. Make it cheaper for the stores to run them. And if you absolutely can't do that, if we're already at our financial limit, which I do not believe, and you need to make it so, what's an RCQ entry now? 25, 30 quid, somewhere around there.
Oh, like that's the cheapest a store can make
at the absolute cheapest. Yeah. I'm paying that and I'm getting given a Flowerfoot Swordmaster and I have to pay petrol and travel and all of that and go there when I could be getting even an Abhorrent Oculus. That's what, 10 quid? And then if you do it as the RCQ promo, it's probably going down to 5. It's not going to cover the price of it, but that feels so much better, getting actually an exciting playable card. And if you want to make it Commander playable, make it Commander playable. You're telling me everyone's clamoring for a Manifold Mouse in fucking Commander? No, of course they're not.
That's the thing, right? Like, where are these promos going? Like, nowhere, right? Like,
just print Reality Smasher again. They'll lap it up.
Yeah, and
they're seeing how far they can push it.
And you know what, Billy, Blake, we know we've seen you on some of our social feeds. You want to come on, you want to talk about it and tell us about it. I think that's all the competitive community.
Come on and tell me why I'm wrong. Come on and tell me why I'm wrong and why that can't happen.
And you know what? We'll all hold our hands up. And we also hold our hands up if you'd like to comment on this and say, we'd listen to your feedback, we'll be in touch. That will also be fine too.
And that's a pinky promise. And anyone who knows me knows that I mean pinky promises.
If we just get that basically down somewhere that this message gets to the top, we'll shut up until you respond. Like, we all have 6 months and I'll be awarded. You do. Oh, but there's other things in the Magic world that like just need repairing. I think one of the ones, as was part of one of the other questions, was the fact that like, where do we go with limited? We had that question in our Q&As as well, Scott.
Yeah, it was how do wizards, specifically wizards, not LGSs, make limited Magic more appealing for people to try or keep participating in until they're over the steep learning curve. So this was from Daryl, who, as you mentioned, is a really experienced limited player, and the store that he helps run events for does a lot of limited, and they're one of the only stores in our local area that still does limited on a regular basis. And there is, to me, limited is really appealing, and it's really appealing to new players for people to go and give it a go because you don't need a lot. If you need a pack of sleeves, you can get it in the store, buy a pack of Ultra Pro bin bag crap for £3, like the bottom of the range. They're only going to last you for that event, but who cares? And you can go and try, and you can play some Magic, and you can learn some things and see some new cards. The price is too damn high. You can't run a draft for less than £20 now.
Yeah, like I think the problem is where the stores margin set on actually these boxes and how people get involved. I will say with an ounce of copium that if it wasn't for the fact that they've built it to so then be this pick two bullshit, the concept that they've built into Lorwyn is that there is available from some of the bigger box retailers a draft kit. There's 12 packs and a collector booster where it's built to be a 4-person pick two draft, winner gets a collector booster. According to the RRP, that's supposed to be $74.99 according to the RRP. A spoiler, I'm not seeing it sold at that. But it's got problems in itself there, because what I know they're doing, they're going, hi, we know all of our commander players have stopped playing at the store and they've just got 3 mates. So we just want to sell a draft pod something to do because they're a bit bored of their commanders. And that doesn't fix limited in the slightest.
No, I think it actually does more damage.
Yeah.
I think you are setting a precedent for how much you should charge for these events. £75 as an MSRP for 4 mates. You're still talking about £20 each. Second place, third place gets nothing.
Yeah.
You're playing a 2-round event. If you want to split a collector booster to one person, you are playing what you'd have to do. You'd have to do winner plays winner. You'd have to do 2 rounds.
Yeah. Event Link would do 2 rounds of 4 people.
You can't even do round robin, because then what if you end up with 2 players at 2 and 1? What, are you going to just cut the collector booster in half? So none of that works, first of all. Second of all, why are we not giving these to LGSs?
Oh, no,
why are we cutting the LGS out of this deal? Why are we only selling it from Walmart and Amazon?
No, LGSs do have it. Sorry, I should like the.
Do they? I'm fairly confident that this is a thing that it's called Draft Night, right?
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident that this is a thing that it's only really going to the big box stores. I don't think LGSs are getting very much of this, if any of it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
Oh, they've got the broken store locator link on here just next to the Amazon link, and I bet the Amazon link works.
Love that. But I just think it doesn't fix it. I think what they just need to do, I think they do just need to appreciate that if they've built their ecosystem, they need to eat it. And I think what you need, if you can't bring the price down in store, you need to take your digital client.
They can, but
yeah,
they won't.
They won't. I think like we love a politics chat, and we keep politics out of everything we do online because this is our safe, nice little part of the internet. But one thing that we always talk about is ideally they want to bring prices down. They'll never will. So what can you do within your ecosystem to leverage it?
Yeah, that's how the whole meme about not financial advice started from the first couple of
exactly
podcasts, right? We were talking about playing tournaments with a budget because you came from a background of playing poker on a budget. I've been playing Magic tournaments on a budget for nearly as long as I've been playing Magic.
Mm-hmm.
I've fallen into that lovely state where now I have actual adult money. I don't have the time to go and play tournaments, but that's just a symptom of the modern era and how life works. But yeah, it's just all they could do is bring the price down.
But
before that, you're not.
Here's how you fix it, and it is in your control. And we know it's in their control because we've seen the technology happen with other things. because they've taken away the little promo cards that you used to get with your pre-release packs and just give you your packs directly. What do you do if you finish a 3-round draft at a Wizards location store? Within 48 hours, you get a premium draft token on your Magic Arena account.
And actually make it work. All of this stuff, I have one Wizards account for everything. And all of this stuff where they're like, if you go and play an event, you'll get 1,000 XP on Arena. I've never got any of it.
Well, what always happens with that stuff is it never just works, and it always gets dropped in something like a weekly update where like something updates and stuff. You
have to send a ticket off to support and get it added to your account or whatever. I'm not doing that.
They will sit and they'll say there's a financial implication of what that token means. The bullshit is people will finally play in your ecosystem. Someone who dabbles with Pokemon from time to time, I find the game fun. I like it on my phone. It's a great game to sit there whilst I'm watching TV with my partner. I'm in that online ecosystem purely from existing, and it keeps me in the game to a point where I've always kind of got enough Pokemon cards that if I've got a spare weekend in an upcoming weekend, I could draft up a deck and I can go play a league, I can go play a cup. Like, yeah, you're making money. I saw a thing recently that currently Magic is the 4th biggest online only card platform. That's behind Pokemon Pocket, Shadowverse, and Hearthstone, right? And there are 3 people who...
Hearthstone's still in 3rd? Wow.
They're people who only exist online, right? So Magic is there for its online only client, like $39.6 million worth of revenue. Not $1 billion worth of revenue. It was a big number, right? It was a big number of revenues. So the cost of acquisition there is effectively like a gem. It's like a tenner. So you're going to give away a tenner for someone to come and draft in store. I'm going to tell you now, someone goes and drafts in store 4 times and then they get 4 free tokens on Arena. They're then going to, at some point, buy the battle pass. And once they buy the battle pass once and they're on. And you've acquired someone. So treat it as cost of acquisition. It'll also then mean that you'll still go to store because, hang on, I've gone to store. I got these cards now. And do you know what? I'm with these really good players. I've actually come pretty good at drafting. This seems like the fun way I want to play Magic. But hey, I also made Mythic. So I've made Mythic with this random deck. I'm going to go play an RCQ because the promos are good now. Some really easy fixes that will put this back on the right path. I don't know if you've got any more thoughts on how to do that with Draft because outside of that, that's the only thing I can think is actually reasonably possible.
Yeah, I was just looking at seeing if I could find the online revenues. But yeah, I think the whole kind of trying to cross over paper and digital is a really good way of doing it. It's something that you hear about with Pokemon even without playing the game, where it's each pack has like a code that you can put in Pokemon Online and it gives you the same pack, not the same cards, it just gives you another pack on the online client as well. And Arena's economy is bad enough that I'm not sure that would even help all that much. I think I could put 700 boosters into my Arena account and still only be able to build maybe another 3 standard decks. And drafting is one of the ways that you accrue cards. It's one of the ways that you accrue cards in paper and one of the ways that you accrue them on Arena as well. And I think crossing that over and using it as a way to on-ramp people into competitive Magic would be really good. It's just really hard to do that when you go, oh yeah, come play a draft, it's 25 quid, and you'll probably go 0-3 and walk out with next to nothing, as opposed to, I mean, even cinema tickets are what, like 10, 15 quid now? And it's the same sort of level of enjoyment, and 3 hours of entertainment compared to 4 hours of entertainment from a draft at absolute maximum. And I think also from the perspective of a more established player, like I am, like Daryl is, who asked the question, like yourself, at this point, I'd say you're getting there in terms of experience level. Just be nice to people. Let them take stuff back if they've messed up. Yeah, you might lose to them. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a weekly draft. It's something I always say. If anyone listening to this has ever come to one of my pre-releases at Firestorm, please do, by the way. I normally do the Sunday ones. But I always say, we are not qualifying for the Pro Tour. This is a casual event.
Yeah.
And I say that in the context of, if I catch you cheating, you're out on the arse.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gone, basically. And I mean that with draft as well. If it's a weekly draft and someone goes, sorry, I didn't know Indestructible worked like that, can I take that back? Just let them. Just let them do it.
It's how you should let it.
This one match win is not going to make or break your Magic career. If you're playing in the top 8 of an RCQ and someone goes, can I take that back? And you say no, fine. If you want to get a judge involved, whatever, fine. That's a different situation. even if takebacks are allowed on the Pro Tour, But
so as long as you keep that priority, Scott, that's the main thing.
That's out the discourse now. Seth Manfield's back to just being one of the greatest Magic players of all time. If this is the first episode someone's listened to, by the way, I hated that entire discourse, and I'm fully on Seth Manfield's team on this. But yeah, I think with Limited, it's a price thing more than anything, because it's really hard to say, hey, come down, like, pay 25 quid, do this thing that you may not even like. But there's a couple of things. I hope Draft Night as a product ends up being a positive for Limited. I hope it ends up making Limited more popular. I think doing the pick 2 stuff probably not necessary, but
didn't need to tell them to do pick 2. You just let them them draft away and get their cards out there. But
when we changed from Rochester draft to the current draft format, people were complaining about that as well. So maybe pick 2 is just the standard going forward.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had loads of questions off you this week, and obviously we like to keep the episodes down to around about an hour. We got just one more. We'll keep some back. There's 2 obviously for us to just address. So before we go, did get asked about vlogs, and we did get asked about streamed events. Probably, as you noticed on the channel, we've kind of like we did also cover a lot of in-play coverage and stuff that we were doing in our stores. Basically, for what you watch, you lot have basically told us that actually you enjoy this a lot. And we are working grown-ups who just basically don't do this for a living. So
love of the game.
Kind of choose our path here, but what you will see as you through 2026 is links in the description below. Me and Scott on our own personal channels on Twitch. So Scott's Elevenzees, me, Oldemodave Dave. You can come watch us play a little bit more when we go places. So we may take the camera and we may record and we may stream or where we can. It's gonna definitely be a lot more ad hoc than it ever was before. However, what I will say about vlogs is absolutely we have the kit. We're gonna be doing that a lot more. And again, coming along with us, getting your decks out at the same time is what we want to encourage a little bit more of, and you're going to see a little bit more of that. Well, not a little bit more, a lot more of that in the new year as we get out and we get about to everything that's being played. On that note, thank you very much for watching, listening, wherever you are. If you're on Spotify, hit that follow button as well, because that's the one where apparently we're underperforming. We'll see you later on in the week for some more Lorwyn stuff, and keep an eye out. The Bristol vlog will be there, and watching the Bristol Portable League and the best of actions. Take care. All the best.
Vlog when it comes out, because I'm going to be playing Modern.
It's fair enough.
I've built miracles.